Conflict management part 5. So I was watching a video from Patrick Bet-David, and he talked about this concept called D.U.G, D-U-G, and we're going to talk about it here. And in the video, he said this point. It was such a great point. He says, you and I have 98% in common and probably 2% that's different. And it was just such a great point, such a great reminder that, man, when you look at what's going on in the world today, honestly, there's so much division over 2%. 98% we have in common. Man, we love, family, God, America, freedom. We want people to have, choices and be able to free speech and protect their family and, raise their kids with morals, values, and principles. Like 98% in common. Hey, you know what? 98% of how we're going to manage or what we believe the leadership team of government should do. But it's 2% different. And we make that 2% our 98% focus. And that's one of the biggest challenges. So when there's a conflict, do you remember that? Hey man, we have 98% in common. This is maybe a 1 to 2% difference. Do you remember that? Do you bring it to the table? So point number 1, right? Focus on what we have in common. All right, man, this person wants to win. I want to win. Man, they're a great leader. Man, they care. I care. Man, we have the same goal. Man, they have this goal. Man, you know what? I love her. She loves me. Right? He loves me. Man, you know what, man? We both want the kids to be, whatever it is, man, we want to run the #1 territory. We want to run the #1 office. We want to do this $100 million, right? What do we have in common? Man, our goals, our dreams, our values, our principles, but we have a challenge. Focus on what you have in common. Number 2, minimize overreacting. I used to overreact. I grew up with a Cuban dad. Okay, if you ever saw I Love Lucy. Oh my God, Lucy! Okay, there's kind of some truth to that stuff right there. Okay, so overreacting. I learned how to overreact. If my dad's watching the video, you taught me how to overreact. I love you. Okay, so overreacting. Don't overreact. And I would call Pat running a business. Man, Pat, what do I do? It's all good, Pelayo. It's gonna be fine. No, but. No, I understand. It's going to be good. You're going to be fine, man. It's going to be fine. But you don't understand what happened. It's going to be fine, bro. Let's just talk about it. Yeah. And I was like, okay, right? And that's oftentimes, I have the most adorable, handsome, beautiful little boy in the world, Georgie. And it's so funny because every time, and any parent will know this, every time he hits his head somewhere, the first thing he's looking at is me to see, or his mom, to see how we're going to react to that situation. And I'll be like, you good? Okay, good. Papito, tú estás bien, papi. And all of a sudden his brain goes and forgets about that it's a problem because he's looking to see if I'm going to overreact, okay? And I grew up with a Puerto Rican mom. And every time something, happened, ay, mijito, tú estás okay, oh, mi niña, right? And you teach kids to freaking freak out, dude, right? And you see other parents like, nah, he's good, he's fine. You okay? Yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good, fine. Don't worry, you're just bleeding. Right? Obviously, not to that extent. And lastly, point number 3, D.U.G. Diffuse, unify, and glue. And when you do this, and you go through this issue, and all of a sudden, everybody's closer together than they were before, you're going to go have your next issue that's going to be bigger than that one. But that's how life works. Bigger problems, bigger victories.